Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here with my guy, Cecil Laird from the Horror Show channel. How are you doing, Cecil?
Is this pretty enough? Guys,
That
I
is
was
so
told to look
pretty.
pretty. This is
That's
pretty. Do I look pretty?
that's my only direction that I have is, all right, now look pretty. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. How are you doing, man? It's been about a month-ish since the last time we did this, and gosh, it was so much fun that we just were like, hey, should we just do this once a month, every month, and kind of catch up and let the chat take us wherever the conversation goes. So how you been?
I've been well, and let's be honest here. You're just lending me your live streaming clout at this point, which I appreciate. But no, I always have a good time talking with you. And yeah, the last episode was good. It led to your first time watch of The Shallows, which was a lot of fun as well. So we did get to do that in between last episode and this episode. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm doing well. I got a lot of irons in the fire in the personal sense. I'm taking a trip to California on September 28th, 2 days after my birthday, and then I'm coming back to attend the wedding of my nephew. So it's a lot going on in the near future.
Heck yeah. And what's going on as far as the Horror Show channel goes? I know there's a lot cooking over there. You're in the midst of some stuff. You want to catch everyone up who's on the Davey Deathray side of things, just with what you're doing. And hopefully you guys have already subscribed over at the Horror Show channel. If you haven't, you're missing out on a lot. Plus, you're missing out on any full movie reviews because I don't do those on my own channel anymore.
Yeah. If you're a Davey completionist, you got to make sure you subscribe to the Horror Show as well.
Yes.
But yeah, no, there's a lot cooking over there. We're of course watching all the new horror movies that are coming our way leading up to the Halloween season. Currently, we are experiencing a number of horror films from Fantastic Fest. Davey already watched one with me, and we're going to be possibly doing some more before the my next week is up and I have to leave town. I have to get through all the films by then. I'm supposed to be getting Beast of War. Really excited to watch that shark movie and review it. But outside of that, a cool thing that we got cooking is next Friday, a week from tonight, on September 26th. That is my birthday. Definitely not turning 45, but I am going to be celebrating with everyone from the channel. Fuego has his birthday going on this week. Mahalo has his birthday in this month as well. And so we're going to do a big celebration on the 26th. We're going to be doing, I think, maybe 2 different live streams on the 26th. The first live stream we're going to do is another Midnight Syndicate listen along, because they are dropping a brand new collection of songs. If you don't know, Midnight Syndicate is a massive horror music group that have been making your favorite Halloween music since 1999, essentially. If you ever bought a CD of horror music from Spencer's or from the Spirit Store, it's probably Midnight Syndicate. So we occasionally, when they release new music, I'm actually in contact with one of the members, Ed. It's 2 gentlemen that are extremely talented, and Ed has let us react to a couple of their new albums live. So we're going to be doing it again. They're dropping one on my birthday on September 26th, a 6-song Lost album. They're all songs from previous things that they've finally mastered and are going to be releasing. They've all been, they were all for some kind of property. So part of the fun is we listen to the songs with the audience, and then we all just talk about the vibes that the song gives us. Oh, this sounds like it could be a slasher, or it sounds like it could be a possession scene. That's the fun of these listen-alongs. We literally just talk about what the songs make us think of. What are they evocative of within the horror genre? And and then the coolest thing about this is, for the first time, I've been listening to them since 1999. They've been involved in the channel as far as letting us use their music. Like, they let us use their music without paying for anything, as long as we credit them. They don't do that for anyone else, or that I know of. It's possible they do, because they're magnanimous dudes. But after all this time, for the first time, both Ed and Gavin, both members of Midnight Syndicate, are going to appear on the channel at the in the last part of the stream. They're going to come on and explain what each song was from. They're going to listen to what we thought about each. We're going to have a fun back and forth. So Midnight Syndicate is actually going to show up it's going to be a great birthday stream. And then after that,
Mhm.
it's possible that we just might do a free-for-all live stream, or it's possible we might do a karaoke live stream, because we haven't done that in a long time. They're almost always blocked afterwards because of the songs we choose, but they're great fun when we do them live. So that is a possibility that we'll be doing next Friday as well. So lots of fun stuff coming to the Horror Show channel. So sorry, I was really excited to talk about those.
Whoo! And that'll be the show, guys. No, I'm just joking. No, it's all great, and that'll be fun. I'm planning on being there. So yeah, so next Friday, maybe if I end up going live, it'll be like a behind the scenes Davey on his phone kind of live thing in the midst of all of this. But you can catch me there, celebrating Cecil's birthday, and checking out some new tunes. Really quick before I totally forget everything that I usually do at the beginning, I want to say thank you to everybody that's joining us live, whether you're watching on the Davey Deathray channel or you're over at the Horror Show channel. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing if you haven't already. Share the channels with somebody who you think would dig this kind of content. If you've got a horror nerd friend and they just don't know, then do that. That's the best thing you could do. And then, I've got a super chat goal going. Cecil's got all that fun stuff unlocked as well. If you want to throw some extra love, you're more than welcome to, but it is not required. So really appreciate you guys spending some of your Friday night with us. If you're watching after the fact, thank you so much for tuning in. It really does help these live streams have a little bit of a second life. And also make sure to hit that like button. And thank you to the Patreon members over at the Horror Show channel, over here at the Davey Deathray channel, all the channel members, and the amazing group of moderators that we have as well, keeping everything clean in there. Well, as clean as we want it to be. How about that? Okay, Cecil, I'm going to say what's up to everybody really quick, and then you want to get into some fun stuff. We're going to talk some remake news that's kind of been bubbling up, and then we're going to talk about 5 horror remakes that we want to see. Are you pumped? Are you ready?
I am. Your poll's a little. It's a little in the bad poll arena, because it's kind of all of these. But I suppose
Sure.
which is the most. You know what? I only say bad poll because I had a really hard time deciding, which probably just means good poll. So
I'm a very divisive character, Cecil. So I'm looking for people to draw some thick lines here on the battlefield of horror remakes. Yeah, guys, thank you for reminding me, Cecil. There's a poll in the audience or in the live chat. Looks like you guys are taking care of that. We'll check on that here in a few minutes. And of course, guys, for those of you that are hanging out in the live chat, let us know what you want to talk about. I mean, really, we've only got a couple topics. Last time, the show was like almost 3 hours long because you guys kept it rolling. So if I see anything interesting, I may just star those chats and pull them out. If we miss something or you really want to make sure that we get to something, then of course you can throw a super chat out and we will make sure we don't miss it. But we got Chester Franklin Jr. in the house. What's happening, Chester? We got Ashton Luck, Antonis Andriotis, Davey James, or Davey Jones as he's known over on the Discord. Somehow that happened. I think I'm going to blame Erica for that one. We've got Teal Kit in the house. What's happening, Teal Kit? I think this may be the first, maybe second time I've seen you in here, so welcome on in. You're kicking it with the Death Squad and the Horror Show crew. Let's see, we got Jay Beach in the house. What's happening, Jay? Hope you're doing well. Paula Fitzhenry. Oh, officially be your first viewing of a stream here. Hell yeah. Well, I hope you dig it, and we want to see you back. So everybody in the Death Squad, make Teal Kit feel very, very welcome. And I guess shout out to Lee for bringing you on over. Hell yeah. Yeah, Lee is my brother from another mother. Let's see. Yeah, Lee's amazing. I mean, just so you know, Teal Kit, I've been a huge fan of Lee's for like over 10 years, and then I finally mustered the courage to start my own channel a couple years ago, and Lee's been amazing throughout that whole journey. King Matthew jumps in and says he's not able to make it, but a horror remake he wants to see is Tremors. Oh, interesting. Cecil is very close to that franchise. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know what Cecil's picks are, but I wouldn't be surprised, King Matthew III, if that is if that's in there. Really wouldn't be surprised.
I thought the goal was to talk about movies that deserve to be remade because they weren't great. Tremors is fucking S tier.
Sir, yes, sure, it is absolutely. Yes, I think it's either deserves to be remade because it's like a cult classic that never really popped off, although Tremors truly did pop off with a shitload of sequels. I guess now it would be more of a legacy sequel, something like Tremors. But yeah,
Right.
all the movies I picked, I was like, oh, this could just be, it didn't quite find its audience. That's kind of the way that I leaned. We've got Amanda Mendoza, one of our great channel members, hanging out. What's happening, Amanda? We got Adrian James in the house. Blu-ray Addict is here. Cecil is here as well. That's good news that he's in the chat and here physically, looking pretty as always. We got Gory Tiger in the house. What's happening, Gory? So good to see you. We got Jigsaw, and maybe I'm all caught up. Ooh, Wild Wrangler. What's happening, Wild Wrangler? How you doing? So good to see you. And it looks like I'm so far behind. There she is. There's Erica, one of our Death Squad mods and the all-powerful mod on the Discord. We got Tyler Adams. What's happening? He says, my hard work is playing at Fantastic Fest today. Hell yeah, Tyler. Can you say the movie? Are you able to say that? I don't know.
Yeah. He helped out on, was it the Frankenbabes? Hang on, I want to give the... He worked on the guy that, Andrew Bowser, who created Onyx the Fortuitous.
Oh, yes, yes.
His new short film is playing at Fantastic Fest, and Tyler did the FX for it. Let me make sure I shout out the correct name here. Just a moment. Frankenbabes from Beyond the Grave.
Oh yeah, Frankenbabes from Beyond the Grave. All right. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, Tyler. That's exciting, man. We got Billy Judd hanging out with us as well. We got Robert the Wolfman. Ow, ow.
What up,
in the chat, one of our great moderators and channel members. And a horror show member as well. We got Sergeant Shitty Pickle. What's happening, Shitty? Hope you're doing well. Guys, just going through the whole list. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone, but I know I'm going to miss somebody. Mike Baum is in the chat. What's happening, Mike Baum? So good to see ya. And it looks like maybe I'm all caught up. Finally, Ryan Olishow. There you are. A-Troll Campbell, one of our great channel members. How are you doing? Oh, and I'm spent, Cecil. I am just finished. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Really appreciate you hanging out with us. Let us know what you want to talk about as far as horror goes and all that. We're basically just here for you guys, but we do have a way to kick things off. This within the last week or so, we got some news on a couple of remake reboots. Just the other day just yesterday, it was Kenan Thompson going to be bringing back Sleepaway Camp. So we'll get to that. But up first, it sounds like it's all but a done deal here with A24 and Texas Chainsaw. So we haven't heard the official word. I've been reloading Bloody Disgusting like crazy just to see if there's any official word there. But Cecil, I'm curious to know what you think. There were so many people vying for the rights to be able to do something with TCM moving forward. How do you feel about the prospect of A24 taking over this franchise? And just from your experience as a filmmaker and everything, because I always thought that it was going into something like this, it's probably how much money do you have to buy the rights, but also like we want to make sure it's not total shit. So what are you going to do with the story? Is there any sort of insight you can give us as to like what may go on when there's like a bidding war for a property like this, and how you would feel about A24 taking over?
As far as the bidding war, I'm not as familiar with the process as I'd like to be honest with you. But as I understand it, it's just everyone throws out their money dicks and who's ever longest wins. You know what I mean? A24 getting the rights, I'm okay with that, because let me put it to you this way. I'm more okay with A24 getting it than Blumhouse getting it. That's for damn sure. I do think that of all the slasher franchises, an A24 aesthetic and mindset wouldn't ruin the franchise. You know what I mean? Like A24 is known for the quote unquote elevated horror, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of their bread and butter, so to speak. But we also know that they want to branch out. They've mostly been boutique horror movies, but a couple of years ago they announced, hey, we're going to start the run for bigger stuff. And isn't Crystal Lake the first sort of swing at that technically?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely getting into the slasher genre, but the nice thing is they clearly A24 knows, whether you're a fan of A24 or not, it's never the quality of an A24 movie someone has a problem with. It's the content. And if the content hits or misses, that's fine, but the quality is never in question. So the fact that we're going to get that quality, ascribed to both Jason and Leatherface, I'm completely fine with that. I don't think that they would necessarily be the best place for Freddy or Michael Myers. Honestly, I think Michael Myers found his spot in Blumhouse. Like I wouldn't put Michael Myers in any place any smarter than Blumhouse. But Freddy, I would give a little bit more, but I don't know if he's fully A24. He's still a bit. He's high concept, but not like elevated high concept necessarily. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I think Texas Chainsaw could be in good hands over there.
Yeah, and it sounds like, from what we've heard, it sounds like JT Molnar would be in line to get to direct something there. Who he did Strange Darling just last year. What did you think of that film? Do you think can you see that pairing with JT Molnar and TCM?
I think so. JT Molnar knows his way around gritty, thrilling storytelling. You know what I mean? He nailed that with Strange Darling. And what was the thing? Did he write Weapons? Or no, that was still Kreger. What did Molnar just write?
He wrote the script for The Long Walk. So he didn't direct it, but he wrote the adaptation.
Right. So he knows his way around storytelling, whether it be adapted or original. And again, the grittiness that could be ascribed to Strange Darling, I think, could very well. Strange Darling was gritty in a updated, slick sense. You know what I mean? There's a pleasant sheen over everything we get nowadays, for lack of a better term. So that's why it's hard to say grindhouse without the grain on the screen, but there's a lot of grindhouse-esque things with that sheen on it nowadays, and I think Texas Chainsaw will likely, even the remake in 03 was gritty with that sheen, so we know that gritty with a sheen can work in that franchise, and Molnar knows his way around writing a good ass script. So I'm great. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I think Molnar has a little bit, like, just kind of what I get from Strange Darling, a little bit of a Tarantino look and a little bit of a Tarantino narrative, mixing up the chapters, and just like you're saying, that near grindhouse kind of thing, like the updated version. Plus, I really love with Strange Darling, I thought the color, the saturation of the colors was beautiful. Like the green and the reds were like very stark. In multiple scenes, they had like beautiful stark lighting. And then also, and this is what I'm curious about, because one of the little credits you see when you're watching Strange Darling, and you're like, the way I was like, wait, what is that? What was that? I had to like rewind. Giovanni Ribisi was the director of cinematography. Like, I'm like, is that the same guy? I'm like, can you bring him along? I mean, I know he's used to acting and everything, but man, like, the movie looked great. Strange Darling looked great. So it's like, shit, if you can bring him on board here as well, then it's also just probably more money for the project, because he'd probably, jump in as a producer as well. But yeah, I think A24 is a good fit. And I just have a hunch that usually with these bidding wars, there is a little bit of that, like, we want to make sure you totally don't fuck it up. The example that I bring up, and this is a little bit of a different example, but when, Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, and Bruce Campbell were picking somebody to bring back the Evil Dead, before the 2013 movie came out, they picked Fede Alvarez because he was the only one that pitched a story without Ash. So they were like, okay, you get it, and you get that we don't want to just do that again. And so that was one of the things, and that's a little bit different because he wasn't buying the rights, but I wonder how much of that goes into this whole thing. So yeah, A24 guys, it looks like. Go ahead, Cecil.
What I was going to say is, what I don't know is how are they going to reboot it again when it was rebooted about as well as a Texas Chainsaw movie can be rebooted in 2003. Like, where else do you go? You know, they fucking nailed it. Both the Jessica Biel of it all, the Leatherface of it all, the shiny griminess, you know, the amazing cinematography through the hole in the head, you know, like there's it's gonna be so hard to like stand out. That's why I think if they're gonna do it, this is the case where they need to your polls point, bold reinvention. Bold reinvention in this case. Like JT Molnar can do it. Like, I think if anyone, JT Molnar would be able to be like, okay, how can we do this different? And I think it'll have the core DNA, but I think they have to know that they can't just do kids in a van running afoul of the Sawyer family again. You know, like it has to be a little bit different somehow.
Yeah, I think that's the trick with TCM is it's such a simple, there's just such a, it's almost like they just captured the secret sauce when they made the 74 version. And yes, the 03 remake is really good. It's also a franchise that I feel like has a lot of like little reboots or half reboots along the way. A lot of the sequels
was one too.
Yeah, even part 2 feels like a totally different group of people. You know, it's like they're behaving differently.
Dennis Hopper was there because of the girl at the end of the first one, technically. So,
gotcha. Yes, true.
It still connected at least in that way, but yeah, for sure, 3 felt completely separated. I hate 3, and the Next Generation was obviously a complete reboot with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, which is still nuts to say that there is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. I still can't get over that.
Well, all the fighting that their lawyers and agents had to do to try to get their names off that poster when that movie came out. That's a story you could make a movie just about that. And just to catch up on a couple comments here, Ty Lee jumps in and says, I want more of the humanity of the Leatherface character, and I want A24 to go hard with the gross and deranged.
What do you mean by the humanity of Leatherface you want more of? Like, what do you mean by that? Because, like, are you talking about when he, like, gets, quote-unquote, seduced by some of his female victims only because he's a red-blooded male that's never had female companionship? And, you know, like, is that the humanity you're talking about? Like, what humanity does a guy that kills and skins people have that you want to see more of? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is it like the side of him before the family turned him into like their errand boy? Because it seems like the family's also taking advantage.
Okay, I understand that then. Yeah, I'm just curious what they meant.
And Blu-ray says, I wonder what a TCM TV series would even look like, and it would probably be that. It would probably be like, here's the fucked up story of Leatherface's upbringing. You know, if they're gonna follow the model, they're going with Crystal Lake, hoping that leads to movies. And it sounds like they're going to do TV and movies with TCM, or at least that's what we've been told so far.
Is that right? That's the indicator. I didn't read the article, so.
Yeah, so that's what it sounds like. All these things could change, guys. I mean, the deal could fall through, but it sounds like it's pretty much done. But yeah, that's what I would imagine the TCM series would be like a prequel, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's all the rage these days. Let's see
to
here.
Blu-ray's point here. Oh, sorry. To Blu-ray's point, I don't want any more awful lines of dialogue like "try anything" and "you're canceled, bro." Texas Chainsaw series does have 2 of the most bogus lines in all of horror. That one, and then "do your thing, cuz" is another super cringe line. As much as I love Alexandra Daddario, and she could, I mean, if she was in my room and she said "do your thing, cuz," I'd be like, yeah, you know, like that's fine. But in the movie, it's pretty brutal.
She is astonishingly beautiful.
Oh my god,
yes,
I think she's easily top 3 in Hollywood for me. Those eyes are incredible.
She has the iciest eyes. And I said it, very rarely do I jump on someone's post from Twitter or whatever, but somebody posted that it's like the shot of her with her shirt unbuttoned and her arms up or whatever, and you can just sort of see what's going on. And I'm like, I've never seen a set that big on such a skinny frame in my entire life. It's just like, that's the first thing that popped.
Watch True Detective.
Okay, yes, because you probably see even more. All right. Yeah, I got to get over my whole TV show thing to at least watch that for sure. Really quick, I want to hit up a couple super chats. Jared Arnold dropped $5 and says, I could go for a remake of The Creature from the Black Lagoon and The Howling, but I don't need any crappy CGI. What about
you
good
got the
CGI?
Creature remake? There's actually a couple of them. There's one actually that just came out this year that's on Shudder that's foreign, that was sort of a reboot or a remake of Creature, not official, but it's a Creature from the Black Lagoon story that they just named something else. But yeah, Shape of Water was essentially that. Yeah,
for sure. And apparently it was born out of that, all of that falling apart, because he was working on an official Creature movie. So but yeah, I wouldn't complain if they did that again. And while we're not getting The Howling, Jared, we are getting, Robert Eggers is putting together his own werewolf movie. So hopefully that is, at least for me, more interesting than Nosferatu. I'm looking forward to it more than Nosferatu, because I just feel like I've seen that story too much. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat there, Jared. Really appreciate you. And thank you for being a channel member as well. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, I'm gonna grab I see you guys dropping a couple titles that you want to see remade, so I'm starring those. And then I just want to get to one more super chat here, because we got the Pumpkin King in the house. What's happening, Pumpkin King? Happy Friday to the Pumpkin King, and thank you so much for the 1999 super chat and the Happy Friday message. Hope you have a great weekend lined up, Pumpkin King, and yeah, hopefully you're getting into that spooky season wherever you're at, that it's the leaves are starting to change and all that kind of fun stuff. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it, Pumpkin King. I know I can count on you every time you're in here. So there's that. Let's see here. What are you referring to here, Cecil, where you say, wow, really? Not the biggest fan myself.
Let's see.
Shape of Water?
Yeah, Tyler said Shape of Water is phenomenal.
I've never seen it. Just another movie that I've never seen that's an Academy Award winning flick. It has the woman that was in Bring Her Back is in this one, right? Was that kind of her big breakout?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
The mom. Yep.
Just wanted to make sure I was right on that one. So yeah, guys, we'll continue to follow this whole Texas Chainsaw rights. If anything changes, I'll make sure to jump on and cover it on the news and everything like that. But just moving right along to the news that broke yesterday. Same kind of, Cecil, I don't know that that you and I have really talked about Sleepaway Camp very much. So I'm kind of curious to hear what you think on this movie, or, how you feel about this movie or the franchise. And then, yeah, a guy like Kenan Thompson jumping in. What this says to me is this person must be a horror fan, and I just haven't ever seen them or heard them talk about it. And so I'm curious, as everything develops, I kind of want to hear from Kenan on what got him into horror and what kind of horror, other than Sleepaway Camp, obviously, that he enjoys. But what do you think about bringing this movie back, especially with the original writer, director? How do you think that this is going to go in a modern age? And what would you want to see from a Sleepaway Camp remake if you're interested?
So let me start with this. I didn't necessarily know that Jordan Peele was into horror until he started doing his stuff. Like, I knew there were a few horror themed sketches in Key and Peele, but he was largely known as a comedian to me. And then boom, he comes out with Get Out, and clearly he has one of the most powerful and unique voices in horror. Now, I'm not saying that Kenan Thompson is going to have the same sort of same aura, so to speak, when he starts out, but clearly, if he wants to do Sleepaway Camp is almost niche in the horror genre. You're not going to have many conservatives liking Sleepaway Camp by any stretch of the imagination, because I would say yes, because the antagonist is something that they hate. However, the antagonist wins at the end, technically, so they probably don't like that. But it was, to me, Sleepaway Camp is unique in the horror space because of such a shocking ending. Like it was the most shocking ending I remember seeing when I was growing up, because I was like, what the fuck? And it's not for any crazy reason other than, wow, I wasn't expecting that. It's
yeah.
You know, when I saw it, I was so young that it was like mind bending. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, wait,
Sure.
that can happen. But you know, it is a classic. I did watch the whole series. I don't remember anything about any of the ones beyond the first one. Here's the thing. If there's any horror movie that's going to get woke cried on it, it's going to be this one when it comes out. So if they are true to it. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens. I think it's a worthwhile, it's a different enough camp slasher story, but only really because of the ending. You know, otherwise it's very derivative of every damn thing else, especially Friday the 13th. So if they get rid of that aspect, then what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? So that's I guess my overall thoughts on it.
They've got to find they're gonna find some way to try to outdo that or just add another layer to it, because they can't go with the same ending. It's just not gonna hit, because the people that are gonna go watch the movie already know about that ending. Like the people that are,
but it's a new generation, dude. Like there's a couple of decades worth of audience that haven't even bothered with the old one.
That's true. That's why I think they're really going to go for like the more modern version of whatever that is. I think that.
But what would that be?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. It's a really good question.
Because everything else would be too apparent, right? If it's like a real outward-facing transgender person,
sure,
like it's not going to play the same way. Like the whole thing it was that twist.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I would even say so. You know, speaking from I consider myself like relatively conservative and everything. I don't like what I see in that movie. To me, the most shocking things in that movie is like the pedophilia is pretty hardcore. I'm wondering how much they're going to put that into the movie, into the remake, because that is the most uncomfortable part of the movie for me when I watched it. And then I think the real villain is the aunt. Like she's the true antagonist, right? She's like playing with this kid's mind that was like forced into this thing, right? Forced into this like agreement. This wasn't something that Angela like wanted, right? So I think there's a little bit of a difference there, whether it's something you want or something that's sort like literally in this case, this is like this maniacal aunt that just like has to have things this certain way just because, you know, it's like it's totally bizarre. So I think, you know, with how, you know, things were a little more probably more stark and easy to contrast in the early 80s when it came to all that stuff. Now there's such a bigger spectrum when it comes to how people feel about that I do think there's a way that they could sort of wrap a couple layers around it to maybe reveal something that was what we expected and then have another tag on it, you know, to kind of modernize it and surprise the people that may have seen that coming. I don't know. But it's intriguing, man. The Sleepaway Camp, the original, has the chemistry of the cast and the shit talking and how like ornery and terrible those kids are to each other is so like of that time. I'm curious to know when they remake it, are they going to put it into a different decade, or are they actually going to be like, nope, summer camp 2025 or, you know, whatever year?
All I know is they better keep that curling iron kill, because a whole new generation of girls need to experience that.
Yeah, that one is brutal, man.
And take it out of the shadows. Like, you don't have to show the actual thing, but don't do it exactly the same.
Terrifier blew the doors off everything, so like
you
now
you don't have to show insertion,
but
you could show the clamp part on the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So now we know how we feel about Sleepaway Camp. I'm curious to see. Let's see. And you make a good point there about like with Jordan Peele, you just didn't really see it coming. You know, Keenan's more of like a financier in this regard, I would imagine. Although, who knows what level he's going to play as far as casting or anything else beyond that. But I love seeing people that haven't been in the horror sphere come into the horror sphere, because it's like, one of us, you know, like you're a fan and I want to see what you have to say or what you can add to this.
Well, Blu-ray Addicts made a good point though, because he said, since it's the original writer-director, I'd be curious to check out a new reboot, but he did the 2008 sequel that was atrocious.
Gotcha. Okay. And I have not seen that one.
I think that's one I never got around to. No, it was an actual, it was like Return to Sleepaway Camp or something like that.
Gotcha.
And Felissa came back for that one.
Well, I guess that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on as this develops. I mean, hopefully, I don't know who produced that version, that reboot in 08, but I would imagine if these guys have been, it sounds like from the article that I read earlier, that Keenan and his producing partner, this is something that they've wanted to do for a couple decades now, is do something with Sleepaway Camp. So, you know, yeah, I guess if it's all in the original creator's hands and he doesn't have any good ideas, then it'll all be for naught, unfortunately. But yeah, you know, I'll continue to cover this and keep a watchful eye and just see, you know, what we learn as the Sleepaway Camp reboot develops. I don't expect anything for a couple years or so. But yeah. Welcome,
you know what?
horror,
also, you know, another reason why that movie stuck out to me is I'm pretty sure it was the first dick I ever saw that wasn't mine. So that definitely will stick out to you.
You know, it's one of those movies like I saw it for the first time just like a month and a half ago, maybe. But I knew like almost everything about it. Like it's just one of those things. Like when you exist as a horror fan, you're just gonna hear about it, and it's just one of those things that yes, the ending was spoiled for me. To me, it didn't lessen the experience of watching the movie. I still enjoyed the movie, even though I knew that a big old floppy dick was coming. Let's see here. Okay, guys, so let's jump into. I'm gonna grab a couple chats here, and then.
Do you mind if I go visit the little boys' room real quick while you do that?
Go for it. Yeah. I'll just go ahead and jump in here.
My back teeth are floating, so thank you.
Pumpkin King says he'd like a proper Poltergeist remake because the one they did was complete shite. So I avoided that Poltergeist remake with Sam Rockwell because I love the original so much. I just couldn't do it. I'm just like, what are they going to really bring to the table that's going to change things? It seems like it's just a pretty straightforward remake. So I just avoided that one, Pumpkin King. But I do really love the original Poltergeist, one of the first horror movies I ever saw. We got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Hope you're doing well, Leanna. So good to see you. Rocking that hair there. Hopefully you're having a good Friday. Not like a good Friday, but hopefully your Friday is going well. How about that? Yeah. What are you drinking tonight, Leanna? What's on tap? Let's see what else we got going on here. Paula says, I'm surprised there is, but Keenan would be cool to see what he does with it. Yeah, I think, like I said, it's awesome to have new voices come into horror, especially when you get to find out that somebody that you've been watching for years has been a secret horror fan this whole time. So very, very excited for that, for sure. Pamela Springsteen is the only Angela. Wasn't she, she's in the sequel? Is she in the third one as well? I haven't seen either one of the sequels yet, or any of the sequels, I should say. Let's see what else we got here. See who's jumping in. You know, I never saw Stan Helsing. I missed that one. That's like one of those horror. Is that those Seltzer guys or the Seltzer guy that did the epic movie and all that kind of stuff? I don't know about those, but maybe I should give it a shot. Maybe I should. Jamie Hart, one of our channel members, original Death Squad mod, our mama mod, says they need a new twist for Sleepaway Camp. I think so, and I think there is a more layered way that they could go about it, for sure. Let's see here. Guys, if you have any horror movies that you'd like to see remade, go ahead and drop those in the chat, because I think we're about to get into that here pretty soon. First and last, which is... are you doing okay there, Cecil?
I'm reacting to Arturita's. Oh God, the co-host had a heart attack. Duh, Bear. So I was like, just clogged up a little bit.
How many heart attacks is that for you? That makes a baker's dozen for me.
Baker's dozen.
First and Last says, I don't know if they should mess with the original Sleepaway. Can I like it just the way it is? Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: is the original one's always going to be there, right? So this, there's no requirement that you have to like these remakes or even like the idea of them doing remakes. It seems like there's, we've been on a run for about 25 years of a shitload of remakes with mixed results throughout. So, but welcome on into the chat, First and Last. I think this is your first time, hopefully not your last. Everybody make First and Last feel very, very welcome. And I know I'm way behind on the chat, guys. If I miss anything, feel free to jump on in, let me know, or feel free to just go ahead and repeat your chat, I should say. But yeah, Cecil, let's go ahead and dive into, this is just something that sort of popped up as we were hanging out the other day, watching a couple movies over at your place. Just this idea of, we do complain about all of the remakes and everything, but a lot of times there's that part of the argument or the conversation that's like, they keep on remaking these classics, like movies that don't need them. Why don't they do this movie or that movie? And so that just sparked this idea of top 5 horror remakes that we want to see. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it and see what the audience thinks here. Do you want to kick things off with your number 5?
Sure. So at least 2 of my movies are 2 of my favorite horror movies. However, that doesn't mean that I don't think they can be or need to be remade. This first one I'm putting at number 5. I love the movie more than 3 of the other ones on my list. However, it was popular enough that it got 3 sequels, even though only 1 was theatrical. But I still think that the concept is good enough and evergreen enough that doing it today, you could even change the plot up slightly, but keep the core concept the same and you'd be fine. But the updated effects would definitely help. You could also throw some cameos in there and it would be totally fine. It would fit considering the first one had a bunch of cameos as well. I want to see a rebooted Wishmaster. I think I love the Wishmaster movies, especially the first one, and I think it definitely could use modern movie making elements, because it was 90s and it wasn't necessarily the highest budget. It had a budget, but not the highest budget. But it was the Djinn was an amazing design. I think we could get a cool new twist on that design. Divoff was great. Give him a cameo role. A lot of the effects are dated in the original, especially the Kane Hodder effect where he turns into the glass door that the Djinn just walks through and he explodes or whatever. So I think Wishmaster could be a lot of fun if they did it again and did it well.
So I've never seen the Wishmaster movie.
Oh!
So I'm adding it to the list, everyone.
I can loan you the collection.
I'm adding it to the list. And I know this is one that Robert really likes too. He's talked to me about this one as well. Yeah. And it does. You're right. Like whenever I see a trailer or any stills from it, there's something about those horror movies from the 90s. They just had this look like not quite their budget, but still slick enough to look a little high production value. But I'm relatively ignorant on the Wishmaster. Do you want to give me the quick and dirty on the plot, and then we can see what the chat's saying?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is an art collector has shipped this piece from Europe somewhere. It's this giant statue, and as it's being unloaded off of the cargo ship at the beginning of the movie, I think it's Robert Englund is the guy that's the art dealer, if I'm not mistaken. Englund's in the movie. He might be the art dealer though. But basically, as it's being unloaded, one of the dock workers is drinking, and he like slips the crane, and it drops the thing, and it smashes. And when it does, a little piece of it has a red jewel sticking out of it. That, oh, Robert, do you have it right here? I know you do. Wait 1 second, it's right there.
What's happening, Allie? How are you doing, miss? So good to see you.
So the jewel looks like this. It's actually, this jewel is actually signed by Andrew Divoff, who played the original Wishmaster. Robert, the Wolfman, actually made this. He casted it for us. Or no, I think I had someone else cast it. I think I had Mike Seifert, Mad Props, cast it for us. But Robert shaped it, and I don't know. I can't remember how it came about. But that's what that is. So someone finds this sticking out of a portion of the broken statue, and they take it, and it turns out it's like the lamp. The djinn is inside, and when the djinn comes out, it's not like you get, like, the first person that gets it is given 3 wishes. But while they're making their wishes, the djinn goes around and lets anyone else make a wish in exchange for their soul, and then he twists the wish to make it deadly. It's basically Calypso if he was a genie.
These bastards with their, or like the monkey's paw, right? It's always some twisted, shitty version of your wish, right? You know, you never get the good wish.
But that's the fun thing. So the main protagonist, the woman, she, you know, he the whole time, like every time someone makes a wish and he kills them, she has a vision of it happening. So she's like tied to it all until she makes her 3rd wish, which when she makes her 3rd wish, he's like freed and able to bring hell on earth kind of thing. So like she has to figure out what she can wish for to sort of undo it all. And it's such a brilliant fucking, I won't tell you how she resolves it just because you should do a first time watch. For sure. But yeah, it's the way they wrote it. I was like, that's such a simple yet brilliant way to fucking undo everything. So I just think it's ripe for going back to the well on that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. And it sounds, you know, this shouldn't surprise me at all, Cecil, because you like you love that supernatural edge on your horror and the slashers and everything, right? So that is very like right in line with a little bit of the Freddy, a little bit of the Chucky kind of thing going on there.
I love gimmick horror,
yeah. I mean, it's great because it's like it lets you play in kind of a familiar sandbox, because some of the things you're saying to me, I'm like, oh well, franchises like the Final Destination sort of has like a little bit of those kinds of, you know, just elements from there working in, but also it seems like a good little maybe even a story of comeuppance for certain characters that make bad wishes and all that kind of stuff. So cool, that's a good pick. And a lot of people, I don't know if you caught that when you were talking, when you were going over the plot, I was just rolling through everyone that was like, yes, Wishmaster's underrated, like yes, we would love a remake of this. So the audience is right there with you on this one. Now my number 5, let me put this one here. I'm just gonna be building the banners as we go here. So my number 5, gosh, I hope this isn't controversial. Peeping Tom. I love the original Peeping Tom. It like,
never seen it.
It came out in 1960, so it's the same year as Psycho. It's pretty different, but they get paired up because of when they came out and because they're both like proto slashers. I would say like Peeping Tom is a little bit more of a slasher, but it's really psychological. And without, you know, this doesn't get into any sort of spoiler territory, but you know, our main character that we're rooting for is not necessarily the greatest guy, but you want to see him kind of overcome. But he's been put in this spot, and keep in mind this came out in 1960, so he's a photographer, you know, he shoots models and everything like that, and you find out that when he was a child, his father documented like his entire upbringing with a video camera or film camera. So it was like a psychological experiment that his father put him through, and it just warped his whole view on his whole world view and the way he sees everything. And it just sort of, you know, put him in this spot where he's not mentally well. And so I think we're far enough away from Peeping Tom. It's not a movie like Psycho that has the legacy that Psycho has. So it wouldn't be like, you know, Gus Van Sant jumping into that movie and trying to redo that. and I think Peeping Tom, with what it's trying to say about like the effects of like what the psychological effects could be of putting your kid through this constant being put on display kind of life as a child. I mean, we live in a time where people just do that and don't even really, think much of it a lot of times. Like people, share their child's lives on social media all the time. And I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong if you do it, but it's just something that we see out there. And I'm like, oh, so you could sort of update it for nowadays and have, a grown up that is psychologically messed up because of how they view the world since they were, put through this strange upbringing. So Peeping Tom, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of a heartbreaker. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend you check it out. It is beautifully shot, very well performed, and a damn good proto slasher.
I've never seen it, so I can't really speak to it. I'll take your word for it.
You gotta add it to the list.
Nope.
It's not in black and white. So
I haven't seen Psycho, so I don't prioritize movies before 1973.
I think I would, and I would say I prefer this one to Psycho. I think I like Peeping Tom more.
Okay.
Because I like a lot of the other Hitchcock movies I've seen. I actually like those better than Psycho. Like, Psycho's good. Don't get me wrong. It's not as good as like Vertigo or anything like that, but it's good. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to be a jerk about it. Jamie would watch a Peeping Tom remake. All right, there we go. I'm curious to see. I bet a bunch of people, I don't know, maybe they haven't seen it yet. Peeping Tom, haven't watched it. It just made the list. There you go. You just made the list. All right. Davey James wants The Faculty. That might be coming.
I think other people have said The Faculty. I think if I'm reading that correct, I'm reading that as what? The Faculty? Because that's a great movie. Like, why would you want to like the point that we were trying to make is these are movies that have great concepts, but weren't necessarily done well, or could just, I guess under the same reason at Wishmaster, I guess you could say The Faculty, I suppose. I think The Faculty was a little higher quality, but fair enough.
Yeah, and I think The Faculty is sort of like, what do you do with it other than a straight up kind of it's a body snatcher movie.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of those body snatcher movies. So I guess if you wanted to do a teen version of it, but I think The Faculty is kind of like a one and done, that like you would just remake it and it's that. There's a reason why it didn't spawn a bunch of sequels or anything like that.
Yeah. David James said I read his comment correctly.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Cecil knows what's up. A remake would likely improve upon Peeping Tom, says Aaron Click. All right, I will take it. Yeah, guys, Peeping Tom is, if you're a slasher fan or a horror fan, I highly recommend checking it out. Faculty is getting a remake. It was already announced. Okay, well, there you go, Ashton. So it removes it from our list there. And Cecil, your number 5.
Okay. So
number 4. You're number 4.
Right. Number 4. My number 4, I am going to do. Okay, so the next 2 are both movies that were made as sort of ripoffs of other more popular movies, and yet I think both could stand on their own nowadays, even more so, or way more so than they did back in the day. So to that end, I'm going to start with The Stuff. So The Stuff was basically a rip on The Blob, but it was more, focused on, oh God, what's the terminology I'm trying to think of? Consumerism. That's it. Exactly right. Yeah. It was focused on the consumerism, and considering how popular diet foods and diet fads and yogurt and cottage cheese and all that shit is so popular nowadays, that I think an evil yogurt company could easily, Greek yogurt infiltrating all recipes on TikTok nowadays. I think there's definitely a place where you could do a new stuff and have it kick all kinds of ass, and even still and even go a bit. You could go the comedy silliness like the original, but I think there'd actually be a way to make it silly scary. So yeah, I think the stuff would be great for a reboot or remake.
Yeah, lean into that whole like trendy fad kind of health fads and everything like that people selling the stuff through like TikTok and everything like that.
A lot of people haven't seen the stuff. You guys got to check it out. It's classic. Great practical effects back in the day. Damn, seriously? It's crazy.
Add it to the list.
It's got crazy effects. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's one of those movies I saw like in the video store all the time as a kid. And I've seen the ads for it and everything like that. I never checked it out myself, but I know it has it's got a bit of a resurgence here because they just announced a 4K, or they just released a 4K. Oh, beautiful. So what, the stuff starts out as like relatively harmless, but what, something changes and it literally starts like eating the people alive, or
no, it's always bad. It's just
okay.
Something happens at the stuff's plant, right, where they're making it, and like it's like shit that's bubbling up out. Oh no, it's not a plant. Like shit starts bubbling up out of the earth, and some dude that's there to like look at it like tastes it and is like, oh, this is great, and then like they start a company where they just fucking start scooping it up and putting it in these containers and selling it to people as like a yogurt or whatever the hell. And
that character sounds like he should be a scientist in the Alien franchise.
Oh, well,
right?
that's the silliness of it. I mean, but yeah,
it's more me ripping on the Alien franchise, where the scientists are like, yeah, I'm just gonna take my helmet off on some strange planet.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick my finger in this stuff and just see how it tastes. No big deal. All right, so the stuff remake. How about it? Adrian James says it's a little bit of a marshmallow cream kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my list is out of control, Amanda. It's an out of control list, and I've already watched 16 or 17. So adding the stuff to the list, maybe I'll just watch that tonight. That's kind of how I've gotten lately, is like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch it right away. Like I'm just gonna rip that Band-Aid off. Dude sees it leaking from the ground and he sticks his finger in the stuff and tastes it. It's amazing.
Exactly. It's so silly.
Pumpkin King though was like, oh, the stuff is overrated. The effects are always hyped, but to be honest, they were underwhelming given all the hype. A remake would improve on it if it used practical effects. Yes,
exactly.
There you go.
I agree, Pumpkin King. That's why I picked it. I think a remake could really improve on a lot of the shortcoming aspects.
And the whole like consumerism thing and all that, like that's just always going to exist because we're just that way. There's always going to be a massive part of the human population that will just live and die on trends, So, so there you go. The stuff diet, you could do it like all that kind of crazy stuff. Okay. Excellent. So that is Cecil's number 4, the stuff. And let's see here for my number 4. Oh, I've got one that's still hanging back in the 60s. Let's see here. Oh, I almost mistyped it. I run a tight ship here, guys, just so you know. So my number 4, gosh dang it. My number 4 this is a movie I just recently rewatched a couple weeks ago. Blood and Black Lace. All right, so Mario Bava's 1961 giallo film. As far as I could find, this is the very first giallo film. My one stipulation, though, with Blood and Black Lace is directed by Tarantino. And it wouldn't count as his 10th film or whatever the heck it is, because it's not his baby. But when I first watched this movie, I just got these really strong Tarantino vibes. However, I will say this about Blood and Black Lace. It's all overdubbed. It's very obvious that it's overdubbed. I think that the story kind of drags a little bit in a few points. I think you could tell a better version of the mystery and like the soap opera aspect of Blood and Black Lace and be able to sell more of the gore and more of the dread and tension. However, I love the reveal at the end of the movie. I think it's a great reveal. If you haven't seen Blood and Black Lace, I highly recommend it, although I know Cecil won't watch it because it's from before 19 1973. Is that your cutoff?
Yeah, because that's The Exorcist. That's as old as I can go.
All right, there you go. Yeah, so Blood and Black Lace, really simple. I mean, honestly, I think you could put a bunch of Bava movies up there. I think a remake of A Bay of Blood could be really fun as well, because that movie's just totally bonkers if you've never seen that one. But yeah, Blood and Black Lace, it's just very, it's just got that, the way that Bava used lighting, the way he used like the reds, pinks, blues, and greens and everything with the lighting. And of course you have the black gloved killer and everything like that. I would love to see a remake of this with Tarantino behind the camera there. So I don't have much more to say about that. I guess I'm seeing if the chat chimes in here. I am, guys, if you're dropping other movies you want to see remade, I'm starring those chats so we can catch those here. Let's see here. We got Doc Mortis jumping on in. What's happening, Doc? Says, bonjour, just got back from another acting class. I've been given a portion of the Death of a Salesman script. Well, that's a classic right there, right? Got it, got to work in Death of a Salesman into your auditions there, Doc. Thank you so much for jumping in. Hope you have a great, relaxing weekend and you're able to study your portion of the script. And yeah, let us know what sort of horror movies you'd like to see remade. Okay.
I joke, Aaron. I say I have a rule that I won't watch before 1973. I just don't like watching older horror movies very much. And 1973 is The Exorcist. It's the oldest one I remember really watching. So I just say it as a joke.
Just like how he says that Michael Myers is a walking wall. It's all
no, that's not a joke. Not a joke.
No, it's all a joke. He's a big fan.
Nope.
So, Aaron, how about this? If I work on watching TV shows, maybe Cecil can work on watching some movies before 1973. However, I am watching Alien Earth and reviewing it on the Horror Show channel, so you can check out our thoughts over there. That one is wrapping up next week, and thank God.
Yeah,
it's wrapping up.
It's been a little bit of a slog.
A little bit, yeah, for sure. All right, so we are into your number 3 pick here, Cecil.
Okay. So my number 3, I'm going to stay in the vein with the stuff as far as it being what could be considered a ripoff of another movie. However, again, I think in today's day and age, it makes more sense. I want to see a new Orca the Killer Whale. Clearly a ripoff of Jaws back in the day, but some really cool scenes, like the orca rips off like one of the lead character's leg that's in a cast at one point towards the end, and like it's there. I literally just saw a story yesterday talking about how orcas have been attacking boats all over the world recently for like the last couple of years. They've sunk like 200 boats, and they're getting more and more crazy. And again, if it starts as like an orca that's been held in captivity at like a SeaWorld for 20 years that just finally fucking loses it, kills a couple of the trainers, and somehow busts out into the ocean and starts causing havoc or something, like I feel like that could be a fun time. And with today's effects, I wasn't gonna step on the hornet's nest and say Jaws could be remade, but I can get away with saying Orca can be remade, and I think that would be Davey James, the Orca was messed up. They cut out his kid. The part of why Orca takes revenge is they kill his kid and stuff. So it's a revenge story, and it's also like an Ahab story, because it's this dude that is just him versus the whale, and the lead lady is kind of just caught in the middle of it and stuff. It's essentially Quint versus a killer whale. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, and it's another movie I haven't seen, by the way. I'm 0 for 3 here on your picks, but that's great. I love that the lists are that different. But I'm certainly aware of Orca and have seen people cover that movie and everything. I still need to watch it for myself, but it does, man. It's like it seems like it's the kind of movie that's gonna make me want to cry. I don't know. I'm gonna feel so bad for the orca.
Yeah, I mean, that one scene is rough, but he gets his revenge. So,
I mean, most of the accounts I follow, like on Instagram, are people that do like animal rescue and all that. So you see some heartbreak, you see some uplifting stories and everything, but it's man, animals. I got such a soft spot for all the creatures, even the giant scary ones like killer whales.
Well, one of the cool things about it too is part of why it stuck out to me as a kid is I loved and still love great white sharks because of Jaws, and that when it came out, they were like, Orca is going to be the Jaws killer, and at one point, a great white is about to attack someone, and a fucking killer whale like bashes it, and it fucking knocks the great white out of the water, and it like tumbles end over end, and it fucking dies because it just gets hit so hard, which is true to nature. Orcas kill great whites all the time. So I think really it could be a cool ass horror movie if you really lean into the power and terrifying nature of killer whales.
Yeah, and you could tell it with that kind of like what you're saying, a little bit of a environmental edge there with like what's been going on of the sinking of boats and everything like that. Shit, you could have sharks and orcas team up, right? For all the people doing the shark fishing and all that kind of crazy stuff. That stuff is wild, man. Talk about heartbreaking. I love sharks. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir when it comes to you on that one, Cecil. With Cecil and I are going to get into a shark cage at some point. That's going to be a very special episode of the Horror Show channel. Excellent, man. Orca, the killer whale. That is a damn solid pick. I feel like my picks are like really boring compared to yours, Cecil.
I just don't think many people have seen yours so far.
That's okay. That's okay. We're going to get into one that I talk about quite a bit here on the channel. So a couple of these, you're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, Davey's talking about this again. But it's my channel. Well, at least it's half my, we're on my channel. We're also on the Horror Show channel. So you guys are going to have to deal with it here as well. My number 3 is The Prowler from 1981. I think this one's a slam dunk. You could update it for whichever worldwide conflict you want to pick, or whatever conflict that the U.S. is involved in right now, 2025, or even just within the last handful of years. You know, you could update it where, you know, a soldier's gone to war, and you guys know the plot of The Prowler, right? Their girlfriend or their significant other ends up giving him the Dear John letter, and they come back from war and they want revenge. And then, you know, what is it? 20 years later, when the college decides to host that party again, because they feel like a long enough time has gone by, then the Prowler strikes again. So I think this one could use a remake, because not a lot of people are very aware of the Joseph Zito 1981 film. It's got great effects by Tom Savini. I really like the look of the Prowler. They could obviously update that as well. But I think the original film, it drags a bit. It's a movie that, like, I really love the essence of the story and everything like that. There's so much about the original Prowler I love, but there is a lot of like walking around just looking into rooms and stuff like that. That I think Zito did a better job of handling the slasher when he did Friday the 13th, the final chapter. And I think something like the Prowler could feel brand new, since it's been, you know, almost 45 years since the original came out. So there you go. My number 3 pick, The Prowler. I can't stop talking about it. The Prowler and the Changeling. People are probably like, fuck, dude, who are you? Are you Dave McCrae talking about this stuff again? Stop it. Stop it.
I've seen The Changeling once when I was a kid, and I remember finding it scary. I don't think I've ever seen The Prowler. It's been on my list for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, you know, it came out the same year as My Bloody Valentine, and it's sort of similar in that way as well, where My Bloody Valentine's like, don't you dare celebrate Valentine's Day. The Prowler kind of has the same thing with like the don't you dare have the graduation dance, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think you would enjoy it. I mean, the Savini kills are worth the price of admission alone.
That's why I watched The Burning, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I wanted to grab a couple super chats here. Amanda Mendoza drops $5 and says, with all of these with all the unseen movies, looks like we need a public watch party. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, if we reach the super chat goal over on the Discord, we do public watch parties, and we put the movie up on the screen. You don't have to find your own copy or match anything up. You just get to watch and listen with us in the chat. You don't even have to look at my face because I'm not on camera and the mic is muted. So you get a little bit of a break from all of this going on. But I'll be annoying in the chat for sure. I will do that. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Amanda. Really appreciate you. And guys, I still am starring the other. I'm seeing some of your entries here. Doc, I see you put one in there. I grabbed that. And I grabbed a couple others here. But we do have another super chat. 1999 from Pumpkin King. Says both number 3s are solid choices, fellas. Well, thank you so much, Pumpkin King.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And thank you for the 1999. I think that puts us just one away from reaching the super chat goal. How about that? And this is a perfect time for us to... Ooh, I see another one there from Todd. I'm going to star that one. Okay. Perfect time to jump into... We're in the home stretch now. Cecil, your number 2 horror remake that you want to see.
Cool. Before I do, just real quick, Doc Mortis made a comment here. I've never seen Psycho, but Doc says my stipulation is that Norman played by Andrew Garfield or Dave DeSmalchin. Dave DeSmalchin, I mean, I've never seen Psycho, but he seems like he'd be perfect. That is a excellent call. Excellent call.
If you want to go, especially, it might be creepier. This like way older guy, this 50-year-old guy living with his mother. Might even be because Andrew Garfield has the look. He has the Anthony Perkins look for sure.
Yeah, that's
so. If you're wanting to match that up, but I'll take all the David DeSmalchin you got. Like I love him as a performer. So, and he can play that like off-puttingly charming kind of thing very well. I think
also that is mousy.
That's a really solid pick, Doc. Going to school for performance, you're getting skills as far as performing goes, and then you're also, I would imagine, gaining even more insight than you had already. Really, really fun stuff. That's good. That's a good catch. Let's see here. What else do we got? Real quick, Brooke Scarlett drops a $4.99 with a firecracker emoji. That's all she's got. Thank you so much, Brooke, for throwing that super chat out there. Guys, Brooke is a channel member as well as a Death Squad mod. And that, we reached our goal. So, guys, this weekend, I owe you a public watch party over on Discord. How about it? I'll get a poll on the page so you guys can contribute to that. And Doc just can't believe it. Cecil. Still haven't seen Psycho.
I know. I have the collection of all 4, and I'll get to them eventually, but I've just haven't had the time yet.
Well, and that's the crazy. So I haven't seen any of the sequels. So that's my sin against humanity.
I hear 2's great.
Humanity. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Is that 2's really great, and then I've heard a lot of people say 3 and 4 are very solid. And I'm just like, all right, well, shit. 2 sounds like it's a must-watch for sure. Yes, super chat call. It feels good, doesn't it, Erica? It feels good. Okay, Cecil, your number 2.
My number 2 is another one that I absolutely love, but I have to acknowledge its limitations. It's from the 90s, and as much as I love it, there are aspects that could be done better, and that's Event Horizon. Someone did mention it earlier on in the stream, but I think that concept is so great. A ship disappears for 7 years and comes back, and it turns out it visited hell and killed all of its crew, and it's just this salvage crew that has to go and figure out what happened, and they're visited by all kinds of paranormal shit on this crazy ship, which is basically still hell trying to get at this new group of people. I love it so much that I am covering the comic book series. Only the first of 5 issues have come out so far, but it tells the story of the Event Horizon from when it first jumps to when it comes back, I'm guessing. And there's a massive demon that is involved as well. So I think that with updated effects, I mean, Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill are pretty tough to beat as far as acting goes. So I don't know that the acting needs to be updated necessarily, but I think the effects could be updated. Some of the scares could be crafted a little bit better at this point. So yeah, I think those two. It doesn't need a whole lot to be updated to make it peak, but I think with today's technology, considering what we just saw with Romulus, Alien Romulus, like a lot of cool space shit could be done and kept scary now. So I think absolutely that. And
Yeah,
yes,
Event Horizon,
like Pumpkin
so
King
good.
says, give us the fucking hell torture scenes that were cut and lost forever in a studio fire.
Oh, that's brutal. That's
is.
brutal when they lose that shit. And yeah, Pumpkin King, thank you so much for another 1999. Holy shit. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Is that something? Would you just want to like kind of cold open torture scenes or is that how you'd want to see it?
Well, yeah, I think cold open we'd have to see a bit of it. And I think when they watch the tapes, we get a longer chunk of it. And then what I think should happen is the Sam Neill character should be psychically linked to the ship, because technically he built the drive. And that's explored a bit more in the comics. So if the same character that helped build the ship has this psychic connection, I think he should have visions throughout the movie. Like when he gets into a new part of the ship, like he's flooded with all the visions of all the shit that happened in that ship. And that's what makes him slowly more and more crazy to where he becomes the pawn of the demon. You know, I think you could weave that all together a little bit more tightly and make it work a lot better.
Yeah, man. Event Horizon, I saw that in the theater, and it was just sort of like, you don't know what you're getting into. Yeah, I was relatively young. What is it, like 97? Something like that?
Yeah,
97. Is that when it came out?
So really, I had no idea what I was getting into. At that point, I hadn't seen 2001. Maybe I had seen The Shining, but I think of Event Horizon as like a mixture of those two movies kind of just pushed together. You know, it's dude, Sam Neill in these like mindfuck kind of movies, you know, In the Mouth of Madness and Event Horizon.
Amazing.
He puts in these great performances here. Yeah, I think you are dead on with this one, Cecil. Event Horizon would make a great remake.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so moving on over to my number 2, and it's a movie that has been mentioned, and this is one that I hear quite a bit from people, even people that aren't the biggest fans of remakes. I see this one pop up quite a bit, and that is another Tom Savini effects film, The Burning. I don't know. I think there's so much more potential here than what we really got in the movie. I just watched this for the first time maybe like 3 years ago. It was a blind buy. I found it a Blu-ray of it for a really good deal, bought it, watched it, and I was like, ooh, I think I need to shower after watching it. You know, a little bit, some of those creepy sexy vibes that I got from the sleepaway camp, from one of those elements there. Man, in The Burning, all of these guys are trying to pressure their ladies into sex the whole entire time. And then you're like, oh, Harvey Weinstein wrote the story. Okay, so it all checks out. But I think like Cropsy it's, you know, a revenge slasher. Cropsy's got a good look. I mean, there's all that, the or I guess there's like the real Cropsy that was doing stuff in Jersey back in the 60s or 70s, but this is a little bit of a different take on that story. I just think The Burning could be you know, it was like a failure to launch kind of franchise that I don't know how it didn't spawn more sequels, because every movie, it felt like, or every slasher movie was getting sequels back then in the 80s. So I'd be down to see another version of The Burning. Bring her on back.
Okay, that's a good one. I watched it once. I remember the kills being okay. I don't remember being that into the story at all.
Yeah, it's got, like, everyone talks about the raft scene. That scene is great. The kills are fun and all that stuff. There's plenty of nudity. It's checking a lot of the 80s slasher boxes. But yeah, something about it where I was like, yeah, maybe I waited too long to see this one, you know? Like the people that waited 6 months to watch Sinners, and then they're like, people are saying this is the best thing ever. And it's like, you listen to the hype for 6 months. How could you not be disappointed after all of that? And I did that for decades when it comes to The Burning. So I'll take some of the credit there on that one. Yeah, let's see here. Burning was another one I didn't care about. So give me a remake. There you go. All right. Teal Kit. I mean, they kind of did. I mean, the Candyman. That was a reimagining remake, right? Doesn't that count?
It was a sequel technically.
Okay.
Because it followed the little boy from the first one, grown up.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and remake that as well while we're at it. Allie Girl says, love The Burning. So you don't want a remake, or you do, Allie? Where do you sit on that? What about we bring Jason Alexander back for The Burning remake, right? He's the head of the camp. He doesn't need the money, but maybe he'd like the work. I don't know. All right, Cecil, here we go. Your number one horror movie that you would like to see remade.
So my number one is one that probably not that many people have even seen. It was a very low budget, straight to video release in 2002. But the concept is really cool, in my opinion. It was completely wasted here because they didn't have the budget to do it right. But with the right budget and with today's effects, I think Terror Tunes could be amazing. Terror Tunes is basically about two friends or siblings, I can't remember which. They're sent a DVD from the devil, and when they play it, these tunes that come on the screen come out of the TV and start killing people. But the tunes are like practical puppets, so they don't look great. I would like to do a version where they Roger Rabbit it, where you make actual tunes come out into our world and start killing people in toony ways, like with fucking anvils on their heads, smashing in a practical way. You know what I mean? Like it starts out, the anvil is a tune, and by the time it smashes someone's face, it's transitioned into full reality anvil.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think murderous tunes that escape from the TV would be such a fun fucking thing, especially if it's at like a party, right? So a bunch of high school kids are having a party or whatever, and like it would probably be like a meme or something, or some fucking, you know, what the fuck is the undernet called? You know, the dark internet sort of video that one of them would bring and be like, guys, we should watch this, and then they play it for everyone, probably on a you know, on a laptop connected to a projector, right, at a rich person's house. So it's on the wall, and the tunes like jump out of the wall and just start fucking myrtleizing all the fucking people around them in all kinds of crazy tune ways. Yeah, exactly, Davey. Yeah, Roger Rabbit. But Terror Tunes. I think that would be so fucking fun, and could be so cool and gory and laughable and sequel baity easily. You know what I mean? Like, I think it could be so much fun.
I have seen this movie.
Oh wow, okay.
I can't remember if I had a copy of it at one point or if it was my buddy Quinn that had a copy, because we were like really into the schlocky stuff at that time. So we were like purposely watching things that were like under budget or extremely low budget. And yeah, this one is extremely low budget, but I love the idea, the way you're pitching it, Cecil, with the you know, the cartoons becoming real life, you know, the implements of destruction becoming real life, you know, physical objects that are there. I love that idea. Yeah, man, Terror Tunes, R-rated, X-rated, or, you know, terrifying levels of gore.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be very fun.
I got more Cool World aesthetic than Roger Rabbit. You know what I mean? Cool World. Sure. I love Cool World. I don't know if there's many Cool World fans in there. That was one of those cult movies that I fucking loved over, and like cult fan favorite. It's not about a cult, but yeah, the animation, the crazy animation in that fucking movie was so fun.
Yeah, Cool World is one that I've definitely got to see. I just watched somebody put together a retrospective of it because I completely missed it when it was. I remember seeing the poster and everything as a kid, but I just completely missed it when it was out. But it seems like a really cool concept, and something that was just maybe a little bit ahead of its time, you know?
Oh, for sure. Plus Gabriel Byrne and Brad Pitt, a really young Brad Pitt, with one of the best cinematic screams in cinematic history, in my opinion. Brad Pitt's scream when his lady dies after the motorcycle accident is so crazy good. It's so crazy good.
All right, I've got to put it on the list. Allie, I'm guessing you're talking about the burning there, and then especially when you say especially if Vinny could do it. Of course. I mean, Cecil and I will take all the Vin that we can get as well. We're big fans, so there you go. Yeah, man, Terror Tunes, guys. If you haven't checked it out, if you want to get an idea of what Cecil's talking about, I'm sure you can find it somewhere out there on the web or on the web. What is it, 1990s?
It's
And
probably
like
for free on
40s.
YouTube. It's one of those, or at the very least, it's on Tubi, most likely.
Yeah. Shit, yeah. I think you got a good thing going there. The rich people put it up, the viral thing. I mean, shit, you could even have it to where like the teens are trying to have a party. But of course, like the person throwing the party, their little kid sister or kid brother has to be there. And they're like, we're gonna like get the fuck out of here, go watch your dumb show, like, you know, and then of course chaos ensues from there.
You could tie it into society there where, you know, there's a whole thing. Trust me, as someone that has kids now, like, you got to be careful what they're fucking watching on their iPad, even on the kid approved. So like it could be a kid approved show on the iPad that's actually been put there by Satan. And like when the kid clicks on it, like the tunes escape and start, and like, you know, like, I don't know, maybe the kid is sort of the gateway. So they can't do anything to the kid lest they disappear from reality. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun you could have with that.
Yeah, sort of like the tunes are like acting on behalf of the kid because he or she was cast aside.
Or maybe maybe he's a stepbrother and his stepbrother treats him like shit, you know, and all of his friends like give him shit and make fun of him and stuff like that. So like, you know, the tunes can read that on him and they go and fucking take out all of the brother's friends. And then he has to like ultimately forgive his brother by the end and like help him stop the tunes before the tunes kill his brother, you know, that kind of thing.
I love it. Let's do it. Let's get it going.
I'm gonna write that.
Make it the next. Yeah, the next horror show channel movie there.
I should just write it.
We got
call it something else.
There, exactly. Yeah. We got Mark from Tales from the Shelf joining us. How are you doing, Mark? So great to see you, bud. Cecil, I'm going to get you and another special guest. We've been talking with this guy named Chris Stanley. Not sure if you heard of him. Bringing you guys on with Mark from Tales from the Shelf and doing one of those versus battles, a Nightmare on Elm Street themed versus battle.
Hell yeah.
So, you know, picking maybe I was thinking we do two of the worst movies in the franchise and see which one really is it. Freddy's Dead or is it the remake from 2010?
Yeah. That would be the conversation.
That would be that. It is decided. Let's see here. All right, so that is your number one. I'll just go ahead and get mine out here as well. Where did that go? Okay, here we are. So mine is, I don't know. This is another one where I have a certain director in mind, and it's a movie that I just watched recently for the very first time, and that is Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse. This movie, I thought it was going to go one direction, and it kind of button hooked me and went a different direction, but I really enjoyed quite a bit of what it had to offer. A lot of people are like, man, like Rob Zombie needs to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He kind of did that with like House of a Thousand Corpses and, you know, all that. But I think Rob Zombie doing a remake of Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse could be right up his alley. You know, you've got basically, have you seen this one, Cecil? The Funhouse?
That's the Tobe Hooper one you said? No.
Yeah.
What does it? Are we on number 2 or number 1? We're on number
Sorry,
1, right?
I forgot to update it to number 1 there. Yeah, this is number 1.
I was like, wait, did I go back in time?
Like I said, I run a real tight ship here, people. I'm definitely a professional. Yeah,
no, I
so
haven't
the
seen this. I have not seen it yet. I added it to my list because before a few years ago, I didn't even know that he had done a haunted house movie.
Yeah, and it's like these two couples on a double date to the the carnival or whatever, and they're like, oh, let's sneak into the fun house and stay there throughout the whole night. And you think it might go one direction, and it turns into, there's definitely some stuff in there where I was like, okay, I can tell that this is Tobe Hooper now, because we're getting into a little bit of the freaks in the backwoods kind of thing, the whole like old school carny kind of atmosphere and all of that. And I think that somebody like Rob Zombie could really handle that well, and I think even amp it up and take it to the next level, because I think there's some really great ideas and moments in the Funhouse, but I think you could, first off, it definitely has that low budget feel. It's not as cohesive as like a standard kind of narrative film usually is, or that Tobe Hooper's later films really, show. So I think you could update it and just make it, look and feel better. And if you have somebody like Rob Zombie, you can totally fly off the handle, because this movie is one of those where it's already pretty damn wild. So I think that the people that are fans of the Funhouse would love to see, how much further somebody like Rob Zombie could take it. So there you go. That's my number one, The Funhouse.
Fair enough. Could be fun.
Could be fun. And let's see here. I'm just gonna, if you guys have any other films you want to see remade, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm gonna go back and read off a couple of these, and Cecil and I will go through and maybe say our thoughts on some of these. Pumpkin King says you should check out Zombies 31 movie if you haven't seen it yet. I have not. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen, what is it? Lords of Salem? Is that one of the other ones?
31 is better than Lords of Salem, but they're both pretty ass.
Okay.
In my opinion.
I like, so the one thing that I noticed about him is I do like some of the, the cinematography and stuff. Like, I think the movies, usually look pretty good. But it's his script writing. I would say he needs some assistance there on the scripts, just a little bit. I would never tell him that to his face, although he's getting up there in age. Maybe I could take him. I don't know. We'll see. Blu-ray says, I watched The Funhouse for the first time a few months ago, and I thought it was pretty fun, but there's a lot they could do to update it and make it better. Yeah, I agree. And it was, it had some really good, shocking moments there, for sure. So I think a remake is... would be good for that one. Let me go ahead and grab some of these that other folks have dropped. This is one I haven't seen, the original of Tourist Trap. Have you seen that one, Cecil?
I have not. I've seen Turistas, but I have not seen Tourist Trap.
And I think for a long time I got that confused with Terror Train, because they're both TT movies. Which I just recently watched Terror Train. So now I need to add Tourist Trap to the list. Oh my God. It's like that Paula Abdul song with Scat Cat, one step forward, two steps back.
I'm not a big fan of those movies, but I am a big fan of TTs.
Me too. I'm a big fan of TTs as well. See Alexandra Daddario. There you go.
Yep. Call back.
Exactly. Chester Franklin Jr. says Prince of Darkness could be a good remake, but to be honest, Carpenter doesn't want a remake of that. I can't think of a horror movie. Prince of Darkness, that's Donald Pleasance is in that one. Mm-hmm. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Like religious horror?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I've only seen it once, and it didn't tickle my fancy, but I saw it when I was a kid, so I don't know. Might have just gone over my head or something.
Yeah. That's one of Carpenter's that I still have to see, Chester. Pumpkin King drops April Fool's Day, but then I saw somebody say that they did remake that one. Did this one get a remake that just went right under everyone's radar?
Yep.
Just snuck right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Is the April Fool's Day remake, is that the one with Scout Taylor Compton?
Might be.
Is she in that? Because she puts in a really good Laurie Strode performance. I mean, I even think in the Rob Zombie remake of Halloween, but especially in the sequel. Yes. I thought that was the one. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, 2008 direct-to-video remake of April Fool's Day.
Okay, direct-to-video. Okay, then I'll go with Pumpkin King. They could remake if they want to put it in the theater. You can remake it again. Doc drops. How about a remake of The Hearse from 1980? I've never heard of this movie.
Me either.
Doc, if you're still in the chat and you want to let us know what the heck this movie is all about, I guess I gotta go. Maybe I gotta pull it up here and read about it later on. One that Magic movie that just got announced with Sam Raimi producing the remake. I just watched the original a couple weeks ago. I think that'll be, that movie's really good. Like, I think I like that one better than Psycho.
We saw that
There's similarities.
Yeah, we saw that because it was a Patreon request. I'd never seen it before, and we were like surprised at how good that movie still was.
Yeah, pretty damn creepy. Man, Anthony Hopkins just really goes for it in that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Todd drops Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Could be a fun remake. That's another one I've never seen, but isn't that, I think it's one of the inspirations for like the Evil Dead. It's very similar. If it's the film that I'm thinking of, and I think it came out just right before, not too long before Evil Dead. But yeah, any of these older movies that just really haven't had that runway or that longevity, if they're going to keep on remaking stuff, if that's the way that they're leaning instead of original IPs, then that one is definitely could be in the mix there. Yeah, attaboy schmucko. Yeah, dude, Anthony Hopkins, so good in that one. Jamie says The Hearse scared me a lot as a kid. Okay. So this is one that I got to check out for sure. Remake Ghost Story. I don't know if I've ever seen Ghost Story.
I have not.
We're no help to you, Jamie and Doc. We're just like, Paula, feel free.
Oh,
I know I might have missed.
She's put her in there a few times. It's the same.
And I just totally missed it.
It's okay. I'll call it out because I've been wanting to comment on it because again, it's one of those things where she's putting ones that like The Faculty, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and The Lost Boys. Buffy the Vampire Slayer basically got a remake with the TV show, even though it was technically a sequel. Lost Boys is pretty perfect. I'm not sure why we would need a remake of that. And again, The Faculty is pretty perfect as well. But she did say My Soul to Take. Is that was the one that was that Wes Craven's last movie? Because that was dog shit. So I would agree with that.
My Soul to Take. I don't think I've seen that one. Let me check that out.
Yeah, that was his last one. It was a shitty teenage dying movie that was just awful.
A serial killer returns to his hometown to stalk 7 children who share the same birthday as the date he was allegedly put to rest. All right. Well, if it was not good the first time around, then Paula, they could take another swing at that one for sure. And Paula, I'm so sorry that I missed all of that. I'm trying. Let's see. I saw another couple. Phantasm needs a remake. They fumbled on the last couple movies.
But does that mean it needs a remake? The first one's pretty classic.
Yeah, the first couple have got, the first couple have really got their fans. I mean, even probably through 3 got pretty good group of fans there.
I like 3 the most. I think 3 is my favorite. Fuego likes 2 the most, but yeah. And 4 is surprisingly good too.
Yeah, I think I've only seen through 3, but I haven't seen those since I was like a teenager. So yeah, I need to go back on that. And Tyler's calling you out on formulating some terror tune stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Remake Burnt Offerings. This is one I've never seen. Have you seen Burnt Offerings? I've been hearing a lot about it lately.
I have not. Wait, what did you say? So who's calling me out on terror tunes?
He's not really calling you out. Tyler just says we need to inform you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because I messaged him. Yeah, okay, sweet. No, because I messaged him on my chat and then I didn't see it. He must have responded and I hadn't seen it yet. Yep. I have a conflict of interest. Uh-oh.
Ghost Story 1981, Fred Astaire's last movie. And it's a good one. Ghost Story from 1981. I'm looking this one up here for you, Jamie. Or for me, really. American supernatural horror movie directed by John Irvin and starring Fred Astaire, Melvin Douglas, and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. All right. This looks somewhat... the title looks okay. I've seen the cover of this movie. Yeah, I've never seen it. Okay. All right. Well, now I've got another one to add to the list. Thank you so much, Jamie. I'll be watching movies... instead of sleeping when I'm dead, I'll be watching movies when I'm dead. Just if I die early, just put the list on a TV in front of my corpse. Or maybe they'll have tablet technology on tombstones at that point, and we can just roll that way. How about that? Let's see what else we got going on here. How about a Cherry Falls remake? I've never seen Cherry Falls. Have you seen that one, Cecil?
I did, but it's been years. I don't remember a thing about it.
Let's see what else we got. Cherry Falls is good already, says Jamie. Motel Hell, haven't seen that one. Blood Diner, by the way, welcome on in Eli Cortez, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Blood Diner or Motel Hell, got any thoughts on those, Cecil?
I think I did a first-time watch of Blood Diner with another channel on YouTube years back. It didn't make any kind of impression because I don't remember a lick of it. Motel Hell, I did watch. I thought it was okay. It was pretty fun. I covered the Motel Hell comics, which was an actual sequel to the old movie, over on my TikTok, if anyone's curious, or on the Horror Show Shorts channel. It's up over there too. So if you're curious about the Motel Hell sequel they made as a comic, go check it out.
There you go. There you go. All right. So let's see here. I'm just making sure I'm not missing any other ones. Although Todd does say Blood Diner should be remade. All right. Well, there you go. I guess, yeah, since it didn't make an impression, it couldn't hurt, right?
Right.
Oh, what the heck else is going on? Cecil, what do you got? You got to have some stuff coming up here that you're working on. I mean, I guess we kind of already hit on all that.
Covered that in the beginning, basically, yeah.
Well, shit. What do I have for you guys? I don't know. Cropsy is also an urban legend from City University of New York campus. I went to the College of Staten Island. Okay. Yeah, I've heard the real life Cropsy story, and I think they just pretty much took the name and moved it over to the burning, because I don't think that's the actual origin story. Although you're from there, so you could definitely tell me, if I'm wrong on that. Yeah, it's gosh, when it comes to remakes and reboots, it is so easy to just be like, to just poo-poo them. But there are some of these that would be great to see. But also I'm one of those guys where, especially like, this year we've gotten so much good original horror that it's I don't know. I really like seeing that stuff. Although we always ache for, the greats to even return and be rebooted. Even the ones that have, done so well, like Freddy Krueger, we're still waiting on that one to come back. Jason, who the hell knows what that's going to look like. Did you see that they Nicotero went back into the lab on the mask?
No, I didn't. They admitted defeat, huh? Good.
Yeah, I don't know if they've shown a picture of like what it looks like now, but hopefully they got that shit figured out, because that's pretty rough one.
It'd be funny if they just fuck with everyone and like his eyes are now just sunglasses.
Oh my god, they really are. They're so bad. I can't get over those eye holes. It's the one thing that's driving me up the wall on that mask. The fact that it just makes whoever wears it look small is interesting too. Even when Vin, did you see the shot where Vin was wearing it at the premiere?
No, I didn't.
And I'm like, it makes Vin's head look small. This mask is out of control.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to fix on that mask, in my opinion. But Eli, no. He says, do you think they could remake Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight? No, I think that one's pretty perfect. Honestly, even as of the time, the practical effects still hold the fuck up. Like, I think I think that movie is perfect and amazing and classic and scary. The demon designs are amazing. Billy Zane might be his best, or my favorite performance of Billy Zane's. I don't know, I could say his best, but my favorite of his, like, you can hold down, goddamn cabin, motherfuckers. So many fucking funny lines, amazing gore, creepy designs. When the kid turns into a demon up in the attic and his like jaw is massive and his tongue is like buried in the other person's stomach, like disturbing shit. Love that movie. So no, don't touch that one, Eli.
Yeah, I love Demon Knight too much to touch it. It's, but William Sadler's in there. I love him. What, CCH Pounder before, like, that's a very early, she sort of became a household name, like from The Shield and that, but right?
Thomas Hayden Church too.
Yeah,
he was in there early before Sideways, and Jada Pinkett Smith before she got crazy.
I think she's good in that one too. Yeah, it's that's a solid flick. Yeah, don't touch that one. But if you want to bring back Tales from the Crypt as an anthology show or anthology movies, I'd be into that if they wanted to do something fun with Tales from the Crypt in general.
Absolutely, yeah. Although Creepshow just got canceled, so if Creepshow didn't make it, I don't know that anyone would buy into Tales from the Crypt.
I guess the whole thing is you'd have to, because I think one of the great things about that original show is I think like all but 2 of the episodes were based on the actual comics. So I think that was the strength, other than obviously they had really talented people working on the show, but the strength was just going off those stories that were so great and so relatable.
I think the Crypt Keeper would do well nowadays, though. Honestly, the Crypt Keeper has over Creepshow, so that's for sure.
For sure. Yeah, plenty of personality there. Love the Crypt Keeper. Mm-hmm. Jamie Hart says Waxwork. I think that would be really good.
Yeah. I just covered that comic too over on the TikTok and Shorts page. They did one comic adaptation, both in regular and in 3D.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, and that's a movie that I just watched that for the first time, I think like late last year. That was a really interesting concept. I dug that one. I dug that one quite a bit. Mike Baum says Hot Take Demon Knight is the sequel to Set It Off. Is it because they both have Jada Pinkett Smith? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, okay. I've never seen Set It Off, but yeah, that's funny. I would say it's a sequel to Low Down Dirty Shame, because that's where I know Jada Pinkett from. Her and Keenan Ivory Wayans way back in the day.
Yeah, man. Jada in Demon Knight, really good. And in the opening of Scream 2, I think she's pretty awesome.
Yeah, She has a great death.
She has a great death, and the back and forth is so good. I think the Scream 2 opening is really damn solid. It's to try to top what they did in the first one is almost impossible, but I think they do a damn good job with that sequel. Will Harney, who's watching over on the Horror Show channel, has got a question just for Cecil. Is there going to be another part of Dylan's New Nightmare? You get this everywhere you go, don't you, Cecil? Or is it kind of being left where it is? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
A lot to figure out there. It's I'm still trying to deliver the Blu-rays, the final Blu-rays to everyone. It's a big job for one person, but it took so long, and like the whole process started in 2019 and now it's 2025 and I'm still sending out Blu-rays. So, and not only are we not able to pay, or not able to make any money from it, but even with the crowdfunding, I've ended up putting over $34,000 into the project myself. So it is not something I am eager to rush back into without fully, like I don't know. There's a lot to figure out. I'll say 2 things. One, if we can get one person's involvement, things that happen a lot faster. If not, things will happen probably slower. I would rather focus on doing an original script of mine right now, my original slasher that I can actually sell and make money from and start a career. Then maybe I could go back and finish DNN. I would love to finish it, but it really is a hard thing to try and do when all's said and done. I got to be honest with you guys. It's taken and is taking still a lot. So I would love to finish the story, but there's a lot of things to figure out on the back end before I do.
Yeah, because I mean, DNN is a passion project, so it's like, you want to be able to put something out there that you've already shown that you can make a movie. What's happening, Robert the Wolfman? Ow!
He was so pissed about something I said. He came over to my house to beat my ass.
Yeah, he was like, "No, I made that jewel from Wishmaster."
The jewel from Wishmaster. He's like, "Don't you dare touch my jewel, my set."
So what were you doing with that? Showing off my work?
Yeah, we were talking about Wishmaster. I did Wishmaster as one of my ones to remake. So.
Nice. All right.
But yeah, with DNN being a passion project and showing that you can do the do, now it's time to put something out there of your own making and make a little bit of that sweet cash, right? There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. I wanted to grab a couple of these. Gosh, where did that go? Todd would leave Wax work alone. Jamie Hart is swooning over Billy Zane in Twin Peaks. Teal Kit, we are getting a Silent Hill movie, I think in January. Unfortunately, it's a January release. I don't know. Usually those can be pretty rough, but we are getting a new Silent Hill movie, so don't worry on that. What else Jamie said something. I'm having trouble coming up with movies to remake because I'm a little tired of them. Fair enough. I think we've all done a pretty good job here tonight, going through the ones that are viable for sure. And Eli says Dylan's New Nightmare has my favorite Freddy line when he tells Dylan, "You may be all grown up, but you're still my little bitch." Good shit. Really, really good shit.
I do love that line.
Yeah. There's so many good ones in Dylan's New Nightmare. Too many to count. How about a Spawn remake?
They've been working on one for years. So
yeah,
like Todd's been wanting to do it for so long. Jamie Foxx was attached for a while. Now I think they've moved on to someone else, but Todd just hasn't been able to get the shit going for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think Spawn would be really cool, especially, I mean, I even think there's elements of that original film that are interesting, but they were so, they were so ambitious at that time, and the technology just wasn't really there for them to do what they wanted to do, unfortunately. But yeah, Spawn is great. And I think, I don't know, maybe we're all sort of caught up there.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie says, I think the new Silent Hill movie is going to be awesome. They're going to use plot points from the second game. Yeah,
we'll see.
I wish that Resident Evil would do that. What? I don't think we've talked about this yet, Cecil. What was Zach Kreger doing Resident Evil, but saying that it's not going to have anything to do with the video games? What the hell? Like, isn't that what they've done the whole time, pretty much through the series? Right?
The last Resident Evil was the closest, but even it was bad. Like, they have for some reason, everyone that gets the Resident Evil license is like, let me show you how we can really do this, instead of just like doing what the fuck it is. Like, guys, look at Marvel. You know why they're successful? Because they're doing shit that people like because it exists already. There's actual literal comic books are literally storyboards ready for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know.
Yeah, like, who are you trying to rope in? People that don't care about Resident Evil? So you're trying to rope them in with your original story? Like, no,
it's
just
been a
go ahead.
long-running franchise for a reason. Just do the thing. I love that meme where it's just the figure just poking something with a stick, just going, do the thing, do Resident Evil.
Yeah, and again, even I think the one you're talking about, the more recent one, was that like a straight to Netflix or something like that?
I think it was.
Welcome to Raccoon City, or
Welcome
whatever.
to Raccoon City. Yep, exactly.
That was all over the place, that movie. It just seemed to be like, okay, so we're naming characters things. They don't really, most of these characters don't look like the people that we know, and I don't know. It just seems so messy to me. Yeah, go back to the original video games. Even if you just want to start with Resident Evil 4 and you just bounce all over the place, I don't care.
No, don't do that.
No, it's its own little. Yeah, I mean, I guess Leon's there, but it's its own little. You
guess Leon's story. There? He's the lead. Well, I guess he's there.
Well, you don't. I'm saying that you don't need to show him everything else before. You can start with Resident Evil 4.
Well,
I'm not saying that they should do this.
To why he is the way he is, like why he's not really affected by these zombie monsters and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying.
I'm just selfish because I love it so much.
I
That's
know.
all.
I know.
That's all. But yeah, it's I don't know. Zach, what are you doing? Let us know once you check out the stream. Would really appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, exactly. We know you're watching.
How much do you want to bet there's going to be an old hag monster in his Resident Evil movie?
Yeah, for sure.
He seems to like doing that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. Well, shit, we're at about 2 hours. I think it's feeling good. It's feeling like this is a good time to wrap up. I don't know. I don't have anything else. Cecil, do you have anything else for me?
No, sir.
Any burning questions about? Yeah. Any burning questions about Dylan's new nightmare for me? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm good.
So yeah, let me just roll through here. I just want to give a shout out to everybody that dropped a super chat this evening. So Jared Arnold dropped a $5, Pumpkin King with a 1999, Amanda Mendoza with a $5, Pumpkin King with another 1999, Brooke Scarlett with a $4.99, and of course Pumpkin King again with the 1999. Thank you so much, guys. We reached our goal, so you're gonna get a public watch party from me this weekend over on the Discord. So that'll be fun. Those have all been a total blast as we've gone through there. And yeah, I don't know. Cecil, you are doing some stuff here this weekend with the Horror Show channel. I think on Sunday, right? Are you guys planning on going live, or are you going to be watching movies?
No,
and
yeah,
dropping
we're going to be
reviews?
doing festival stuff most likely. Yeah. Although it's been a while since we've done the news, so I'll ask Fuego. Maybe we could go live with the news with booze or something like that. We haven't done that in a while, but I don't know. Yeah, for the most part, though, we have some movies from Fantastic Fest to catch up on. So
heck yeah! And then, guys, don't forget, in a week, next Friday, September 26th, Cecil's birthday. We're going to be doing the listening party. We're going to get into all sorts of shenanigans. I might be the only non-alcohol drinking person in the room, but I'll do my best to, play around with other methods of non-sobriety that I feel comfortable with while I'm over there. That one should be a huge blast. That'll be over at the Horror Show channel. So if you have not yet subscribed over there, I think Eli just dropped the link yet again in the chat there, so you guys can follow it on over to the Horror Show channel. Make sure you're subscribed. We have all sorts of fun over there. And then really for me, guys, for the rest of the weekend, we're going to be doing a members only stream at 7 p.m. on Sunday. And then I would imagine 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And then I'll either do the live watch party right after that. Or maybe you guys want to vote on which movie we watch and we push it a day or two so we can find the right movie for you guys, since you guys put your hard-earned money out there. Big shout out to the Patreon members over at the Horror Show channel, as well as over here on the Davey Deathray channel, our amazing YouTube channel members as well. Thank you so much. The moderators on both channels, really appreciate what you guys do for us as well. And I don't think I have anything else. I think we're good. I'm feeling good. And yeah, guys, we'll see you next month. It'll be a very spooky season, iteration of the Unfiltered Horror live discussion here with Cecil Laird over at the Horror Show channel. And yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your evening. Holy shit, if you're watching after the fact and you made it this far, you are an extra rock star, all-star. Goated. Make sure, whether you're watching live or watching after the fact, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with folks that you think would, or share the channels with folks that you think would dig this kind of content, because we're going to keep this train going. But that is going to wrap it up for us. He's been Cecil Laird from the Horror Show channel, and I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care and
stay scared.
Stay scared.